welcome to the channel. It's Adam with ND72. So today we got my SL55 back in the garage. I mean, it's pulled kind of in the garage. It's in the garage enough to make a comfortable, easy work environment for myself. So, the previous video we did some valve cover gaskets, and I tried to make the engine bay pop a little bit more. Now, I'm going to admit to it, it looks good. I just wanted to pop a little bit more. So what we got on this table is today we're going to be cleaning up that engine bay and making it pop really nice. And one or two other little medium things to make the car look a little bit better, one step at a time. All these mods on this table are very inexpensive, and they're, in my opinion, a very good first cheap easy mod to do just to make your car look a little bit nicer. Because it's always all cool to have like a crap little horsepower, crap little boost and all that stuff, but it ain't really car guy just likes to look at their car sometimes. Take photos of it, be like, feel impressed or feel like excited when you pop your hood to go look on it, because if your engine bay looks like effing crap, you usually don't really want to work on it that much. So what we got here is something. So I got surge tanks that I had spares up in my parts here because I have a crap load of them. So I powder coated them the exact same color I did the valve covers, and then I just kind of machined the AMG up, and they're looking pretty nice. Tons of people get their surge tanks powder coated, and I think like powder coating surge tanks really makes the car pop. And what it actually does, I was told yes and no on this a lot, it coats them and helps them with thermal dynamics a little bit. Not so sure if that actually works or anything like that, but it puts a coating on it where it basically helps manage the heat a little bit. True or not, I'm not a scientist, I don't even really know. I mean, I could take some testing and measurements, but that's not what we're doing today. Then, I got some East Coast Euro. These are from my stockpile from years ago, so this is a secondary air delete kit. You can't buy this kit anymore. VRP still sells it. More or less the same thing. They're all just basically a machine piece of metal that drops in there. This one just comes with everything you need, hardware and so on and so forth. The VRP one doesn't, which that's neither here nor there, but this is a good. They cost, I think, about $40, and it cleans up your engine bay area. So we're going to put that on there to clean up a lot of, it gets rid of a few vacuum lines that will save you later down the line if you have any vacuum areas. This will delete them and help you out. It doesn't hurt with performance at all. It actually helps with performance a little bit. Mainly what it does for helping with performance is helps with cooling. Because you have these two big things that are right in front of your supercharger, you remove them, and then technically air is now able to pass under the intercooler a lot better to help cool temps down. Does that actually work? In theory, it really should, because you're basically taking a wall and now removing it, now letting air pass through. And it'll clean up the engine bay and delete a lot of stupid little lines. So that's a good thing. And then last, alright, so what we got here is smoked reflector for the side of the bumpers. These, you can just get them off Amazon. They're roughly $50, and they really make the front of the car look a lot better because you don't have that big amber orange. These should just literally pop in and pop out. They're supposed to be meant for the SL55 AMG bumper. So all this stuff should be pretty easy. So you don't need too much to do this kit. Now, one thing I'm going to say now, I'll probably say it again. You don't see any gaskets on this table. There are metal gaskets that go over here. Woo! Yes, if you're ever going to do new surge tanks or anything like that, put new gaskets. The only reason I'm not doing that today is because I'm throwing a 92mm Hellcat throttle body. And in that video, I want to change almost all my gaskets. So I'm going to do it all at once. And these are metal gaskets, so they're fine to be reused. Also, surge tank, or the secondary air tanks also have gaskets. They're metal. They're fine to reuse. Just don't really lose anything or break anything. And then the last piece, what we got right over here, is just some little caps to block off some of the air lines. Now, Mercedes actually sells factory block-off ports for these, the caps. I'll try to look for them down below. They're not too expensive. It's just I couldn't get them in time. And they look really nice on Mercedes. From the dealer, has block-off caps for a lot of this stuff. So, and I think the DDM cars and a lot of other stuff don't really have them, because this is secondary air pump stuff. This is emissions. This is a off-road car only. I do not drive it on the street here in Florida. Okay, now that said. Also, you could hook up a tune. I contact VTech already. He already sent me a new tune that'll delete the code, so I get no code for this. And we drop a little bit of LBs off the nose of the car, so it'll make it a little bit faster. But enough of all that hootenanny and all that gibbering. Let's start knocking this out. I'm going to try to show you a little bit of step-by-step of how to do it. This is a very, very easy job. Unless you do something stupid and break something. But that's all on you. So, let's get to it. Okay, so now we're at the engine of my SL55. So, The reason I'm doing this whole job and these two things all at the same time is because one of the bolts for the secondary air pump delete, you kind of have to remove a surge tank. So if I'm going to pull a surge tank off, I might as well just do everything, and it helps me from getting like all these extensions. Can you do this job without pulling the surge tanks off? Yes. You just need a series of joints and extensions. But if you pull the surge tanks, they're really easy to pull off as long as nothing happens breaks. And then it makes your job so much easier. So what I'm going to be doing, first remove your air intake. Everyone's will be a little bit different. Mine are just these two little pipes, 2 10 mils or 3 10 mils. I'm going to pull it off and then start doing the surge tanks. Alright, now that you got your air box and all that stuff off, you're going to start doing your surge tanks. So these are T30s. I like to break them first loose with a ratchet, and then I'll go whiz them all off. And then you have to do the coupler down on the bottom. I'll show you better a little shot, but first I want to whiz these off. Let's break them all loose. It should be a T30. Do not strip them, so just go slow. Okay, now that you got all your bolts basically all broken loose and they're able to just be handed right up, you now need to go down here, which it's kind of hard to see. Right there are the couplers for the surge tank. So this, as long as they're factory, that should be a 7 right there. So you see how you have 2, top and bottom? You really should just need to do the top one. If you really want to pull the whole thing off, you do the bottom and the top. But they're not that bad, so I just get my electric ratchet with a 7. Now if someone changed it, usually they'll be an 8, but they should be factory 7 clip. So we're just going to put this in here, make sure I got it loosened. Now my mushroom might be in the way, but I got it. So word of advice, when you put them back on, you're going to want to, see how that was kind of hard for me to get? I am just going to take my little piece right over here and then rotate it over a little bit, because this coupler should move, this clamp should move, and this surge tank should be able to come right off. All right, now that you got everything loose, also the hardware, they're different lengths. So as you pull them out in order, so you know where to put them back in, because they are different sizes. And then to get these out, you can just lift backwards, see how I angle it up, and then they'll come right effing out. Be careful with the gasket. And there you go, you got a surge tank out. Now you can examine it a little bit if you want to see if there's anything wrong. Hello. So now with my surge tank, as I can see, I got some oil over here, which I probably will need a catch can, but for a factory setup, that really shouldn't be that bad. What you are looking for is, if you can see down in here, you're looking for green slime or sludge or anything crazy. That would mean that you have a leaking intercooler where now water is actually getting introduced into the system. That's bad, and you really don't want to see that, but this is a good way to just look at it, give them a good clean, but I don't see any excessive wear. Also look for any cracks or anything broken. Anything really stupid, I don't really see anything of that, so this one's still a good good surge tank. But I'll clean it all up, and now we're going to get ready to do the secondary air pump once I pull the other one of these off. Okay. Now that you got your surge tanks off, before you do anything with the secondary injection, cover up all your ports with some sort of electrical tape. Not electrical tape, some sort of tape. Painter's tape works the best because it comes off pretty easily, but you don't want any stupid bolt to fall off in there because that's going to be a whole issue. So now that you got that, these are going to be the secondary air pump stuff that you're working with. So you're going to do these solenoids. So what you're going to be doing first is pull this one off. Dang, that was actually already broken or ripped. So you'll pull that one off, put it to the side. If you want to keep it, throw it away, or whatever you want to do with this. Maybe you could use it for something else. Just go one on one, do it with both. They pull right off. Next, this is going to be the mediumly important part. Let me move the camera so I can show you what bolt you need to get rid of. So right down here is your T45 bolt that you're getting rid of, okay? So I already broke mine loose by hand, so now I'm just going to take my little gun and just whiz it right out. This is a T45. Whoops, I completely missed it. Now it's loose. I'm not going to put my hand down there to grab it. I'm going to use my helping hand. You can get it, little buddy. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go get a magnet. Okay, now you just go grab it with a magnet. Bolt will come right out. And then you do not want to lose this bolt in case you want to reuse it, so put it to the side. Now, this is part of the secondary air pump system. Also, this hose is. So you want to remove that hose. And now when you're taking this piece out, you do not want to just like, rah, rah, rah. You want to kind of gently twist and pull up because you could snap this off on the head. So let me try to like, just go gingerly. See how it's already coming loose? So I'm going to pull that hose up. Oh, poop. Well, so this is one of those vacuum lines where people have pesky issues. Apparently someone shoved a bolt in there to fix the leak. Well, F my life on this car. So we're going to slowly break it loose. Just wiggle it out. Do not snap this thing. So just go back and forth. Just take your effing time, because if you break this off in the head, you're going to have so many effing problems. Boop. See, it came off very nicely. And there's supposed to be a gasket down there, so let me look down there for the gasket so it doesn't fall. Should be. Well, it should be. Unless it's stuck on here. Let me do some investigation, because there's supposed to be one. Okay, I'm going to have to order a gasket for that side over there, because apparently someone didn't put one back on. So now this side's basically the same thing, just has a lot more air lines, and then you have this little bracket over here. This is attached to the valve covers, which I took it off when I did the valve cover job. So now you're going to have to unplug it. Let's get that hose out of the way. Unplug it from right there. You'll zip tie that up, and then unplug all these lines. These lines, this yellow one, falls all the way back over here, so you're going to have to plug that off. So I'm going to undo the line from over here, then try to pull it through because it goes under the supercharger. Well, it's supposed to. Well, now let me look over here. Is there another effing bolt? No, it is melted closed. So this could be part of my vacuum leak issue that I was having. Well, dang, none of these were really connected. All right, hopefully that's not like that for you. So we'll just undo this plug over here, and I'll put all this to the side. So neither side came with a gasket, so I had to order one. So here's one that I found in my parts stash. I'm going to have to look for one more, or I will have to actually buy another one. So this is the gasket, what it's supposed to look like. It literally will just sit right, turn that light back on, right down there. But I have no clue why you would delete that gasket. It's a metal gasket that doesn't cost that much. They must have dropped it or lost it. And maybe it's somewhere in my valley down there when I pull my supercharger off. Eventually, I'll find it. But we're going to start putting the secondary block-off plates in there and just keep moving on. Okay, now that you got that all replaced, you're going to grab, I have the East Coast Euro secondary block-off plates, but VRP makes them. So here's kind of a little bit of a difference, which it's cool because it looks cleaner, but it annoys me in one way. So I'm going to tell you right now. So here's the factory bolt that came out of it, a T45. Now these bolts are all along the supercharger, so when you have to remove your supercharger, you just go like boom, 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 boom. The bolts that the East Coast Euro ones come with are an Allen. So it's a little bit annoying to have to switch tools when you're doing a job when you have to pull the supercharger, but if you're not really pulling your supercharger off ever, or not that much, then who really cares? East Coast Euro ones are so much cleaner, but you can't even buy them anymore. I just have a stockpile of them just because I'm not really going to say why, but I just do. So you're literally going to see why you have to use this bolt, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it sits flush. If you try to use the factory bolt, you probably could, but it's just not going to sit as flush. So I'm just going to stick with the East Coast Euro ones, put them in there, but like I said, VRP will sell these still. VRP has them on their website. I'll put a link down below. These are black with like the cool little lettering. The VRP ones are just silver. They're just a piece of metal that is just cut out. You could coat them. You can do whatever you want with them. That's all up to you. So to install these, you're just going to literally have the bolt like that. Grab your little gasket. And see how it drops right in there. And then we're going to throw them right in the car. Alright, so when you're putting these in, don't grab a gun. Don't slam it in there. Get the whole setup like you have it with your gasket. I just literally grab my socket, whatever you're going to do with it, and then it just goes right in. Since you have the tape, you could still drop all this stuff in the valley, but try not to, just be cautiously. And then just put them right in there. Very, very easy. And bam, now you got your secondary air block-off plates in there, and they look pretty clean. We're going to see how they look now that you have the surge tanks off, and I'll actually show you how some of that airflow will go in there. And also, I apparently had a few vacuum leaks. I might have been when the car was idling a little bit rough, but now this literally kit deletes all that stuff because you saw how many hoses I had broken off. So I don't know if that's fault of the previous owner, because one of them was known because someone shoved a effing bolt in there. It is what it is. Sometimes it's just cheaper to fix stuff, but some people just don't have the money or don't really care, so they just shove random crap in there. That sucks for me, but it is what it is. Let's keep moving on. Now we're going to go to the surge tanks that are really going to make this car pop. Okay, one other thing I do want to talk about what the surge tanks are is that some people were saying different superchargers have different surge tanks. There's a 280, there's a 280, a 580, and I think it's a 080. Now, I took these off of my other car. This is just like I literally have 2 or 3 superchargers up in the storage. And the part number is the exact same from one to the other. So, I'm pretty sure the superchargers might be different gearing or something like that. I'm not sure if someone could comment below and tell me if a 580 actually is more powerful than a 280 supercharger. Then let me know, because I have a 580 upstairs. So we're going to throw these on. They're basically identical. I did clean off all this stuff when I was getting powder coated. So they should just literally bolt effing right back on. No biggie. Oh, I will say this though. The gaskets, there's right side and left side, so don't mix those up. So we'll put that to the side. We're going to throw this one on there, and then we'll be done. Well, almost done. All right, now that you got everything wiped off and all ready to go on, you pull your tape. I'm going to show you a little trick. So I take my gasket, and I take the first hole and the back hole to help line it up. And then, that way the gasket won't like roll or do anything stupid. These bolts should hold it straight in there. And then, you're going to take it and just do the same way you took it out, but rock it in there. So first you're going to put the back in there. Make sure it's in there. Lower these down. The bolt should hold the gasket in there, and then you just play with it a little bit. Because see, my gasket came off because I let go of the effing bolt. So it should guide it right in there. And then make sure that you're in your tube. There we go. Before you tighten everything out, verify that you could actually see the gasket on all angles. And you should be good. Now you can start putting bolts in and tightening it up. So I'm just using this to drive them down. I'm not actually going to torque it. They should go in that easy. Ugh. Good thing it's powder coated. I completely effed that up. Alright. And I'm just going to verify that the gasket, because you can see it from almost every point. And then you're going to grab your bolts. Now your bolts are, if you mix them up for any special way, it's going to be longest to shortest. So it literally gradually goes down. Now some of these, if you do break a bolt or lose a bolt, you could use one for the other, because a lot of these just pass through. Like the bolt doesn't go into a head, like it just passes right through. But we'll put them all on there. And then it's looking pretty good now. Now I'm actually happy about how this looks. Okay, now we're going to go back with removing the rest of the secondary air pump stuff, which is this right effing here. Before I tighten everything up, I want to remove everything that I need to. This hose is going to the secondary air actual pump. So follow that bad girl all the way down until right where it actually goes, underneath the car. So that one should fall. It's going to actually go all the way down here. So we're going to show you how to remove it, but first, pull this part out. So this should be pretty easy to just come right out. I might need a tool, but we're going to try just tug. Oh yeah, like a gem. And now we're going to follow this all the way down and look it. So much cleaner over there. We're going to go under the car. I think we have to go under. I might be able to just pull it off from where I'm at. Okay, so now you're on the passenger side. You got to take your wheel off. You got to take this inner fender off. And now you're going to see the glorious, glorious secondary air pump. Now, I've already started breaking some of the bolts loose, so I'm going to show you everything just because it's a little bit annoying. So, and I can't get too many good camera angles. So right there is a 10. See that little bolt right there? And you got one right there. And then way back, if I could see it right there, you got another one. So let's get your impact or something. Or not an impact, but electric wrench. You break them all loose. You take them all out. And then you're going to want to wiggle this pump all out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, now that you got your pump all wiggled out and everything like that, this line was that line that you took up top off. So you can either pull it down or whatever, get it off. And then you have a plug, right? Let me spin this bad girl around. Spin, baby. There you go, bam. Right there, you need to unplug. So unplug that. And if you really want to keep this bracket, it looks like you could just remove these 3 Torx and then put the bracket back in, but I don't know why you would want the bracket. So just unplug and remove all that stuff. And also with the plug, where'd it just go? I know it's somewhere. I just lost it. Hold up. Oh yeah, so it pulls forward, not like to the side or anything weird. And then now you could just pull that all out. And now you got that whole piece all out. And that shouldn't prevent or do anything weird, but should be good now. Now once you get back down here, you can see you have so much more room for activities. Now here's the plug. You can just zip line it up or anything like that. Also, oh yeah, one thing I did do, I have to remember to plug it back in. I undid my intercooler pump plug just so I could get it out of the way because I really didn't want to break it. So let me plug that back in before I do anything. Okay, now that we're still in that fender, we're going to do one thing just because we're right there and it's going to make it so much easier. My smoked side marker or light cover things, whatever you want to call them. We're going to be turning them to smoke, kind of blackish, instead of that stupid effing amber. And it's so much easier now that we got all that stuff out of the way. You literally could pop it in and out in like seconds. You didn't have to remove the secondary air pump to do this job. It is just so much easier. That's why I waited to do it all at once. So, if you look, this is what they look like now. That kind of like yucky. Now it's going to go like that. So let's remove them and see how much it looks better. Okay, so now that you can see straight line to it, you're going to undo the electrical plug, which will have the bulb, which will be right there. All you're going to do is literally turn it and pull it out. Pretty easy. So we're going to knock that out. And then to take these out, if you look at, they have like a little clip. So you'll just put your hand in the back, and then you could pull it down and pop it out. So you're going to squeeze this and pop it out. I actually found it's easier than I remember. Do not, I mean, you could unplug it in there, but it's so much easier right here. So we got it all out, so I'm going to unplug it and snap this one in. Okay, so now that you got your new one all unwrapped, you're going to put your plug in. You turn your plug to lock it in there. And then if you see, they have a little hook right there. So going back in, you need to spin it this way first of all. So you're going to do the hook first. All right, so the hook is in, and then you got a little spring, and then it should just snap right in. Hopefully, this is an Amazon part. Hopefully it works. Oh, yeah. Bam! Look at that bad girl. So smooth. I think it looks so much cleaner than this little thing like, hey, safety me, safety that. This is like aerodynamic and clean and so nice. My little helping hand enjoys it too. So now you're all done with this side. You can put the fender back on. You should be able to do this job with just literally turning the tire to the right or just shoving your hand right under here, but you'd have to move the trays and do all that stuff. So we're going to go knock out the other side. It is literally identical. Pop in, pop out, and they work so good. They look pretty nice, and it's a pretty good flush fish. Okay, now the last part for the secondary air pump, hold, delete, and all that rigmarole is to cap up these holes so no debris or nothing happens to them. If you look right here, you can see down there, there's actually a factory, let's see if we can zoom in on that, a factory cap. So if you want to just get the part number off that and order it, that will bolt directly up to here, here, and here. You need a total of 3 to do this job. And then you need to cap off your one in the back of the supercharger right there. So I just ordered just a little cap kit. I used it before they work. You're going to need an 18 to a 20 mil, one of those two, and this should slide directly right on into here and do the exact same thing. Takes a little wiggling. The Mercedes ones pop directly on there, so much nicer. But this will do in a pinch, and because I couldn't get the other ones in time. FCP Euro, I think, had them, the dealerships have them, and eBay has them. But you just put that little nipple on there, and then you're good. You can do it here, here, here. And then in the back, also Mercedes sells a factory one for back there. Same thing, go in your little kit, pull out which one you need, and put it in there. And then you're done with the capping off part. So you can order the factory ones. They look really good. They're roughly, depends where you look. I saw some people charging $15 per cap. I've got them back in the day for like $4 or $5 per cap. Then I found this kit. This kit I think was $6, and now I have a crap load of extras. So 18 mil is the one I went to. Now, word of advice, whenever you're doing anything like this with these where you're not sure which one fits, go with the smallest one first and work your way up, because you want some of these airline stuff to be super tight so you don't get a vacuum leak or nothing crazy. And the caps I just put on, they're not under boost. They're nothing crazy like that. So you don't have to worry about it. It's just basically a precaution for me and the tap, and that way you don't get any vacuum leaks. But, you know, once you start flooring it, you're out of vacuum anyways. So these will do just fine. And if I don't have it on the car within like a couple months, I'll try to remember to tell you. But I'm going to try them out because it was so effing cheap, and I use this stuff all around the house and all the time anyways for other random stuff. So I'm pretty confident this will be okay. Okay, so now that you got all that stuff removed, this is all the rigmarole that you just get out of there. So I weighed it. This is right over 5 pounds of weight out of the nose of your car. So that's going to improve literally everything. Handling, well, it should improve handling, braking, gas mileage, all that little stuff, like a marginal amount. But this is 5 pounds of clutter, and look at all these vacuum lines we just got rid of. Half mine had bolts in them and were burnt effing off. So this car should be idling a lot better now, because I just deleted all these teeny little small vacuum leaks. So I'm super happy about it. If anyone really wants these parts, hit me up. They all worked. I got a pump, I got the solenoid valves, the hose is the only thing. I mean, you saw mine were broken. But besides that, everything worked on the system. If you want to hit me up, I'll try to sell it dirt cheap. If you're in Florida, even cheaper, come get it. Give me a few bucks. Give me like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40. I don't even know what they go for. Give me some dollars. Give me some change. It supports my YouTube world and helps me get through life a little bit better every day. So if you guys want it, hit me up. You know where to find me. On Instagram at BuffyCLK500, or you could also actually think Instagram ND_72. Hit me up. Shoot me an offer. Don't say $1 and then it costs me $30 to ship it. Be reasonable. Or it's just going to go stored away for whatever car, maybe one day I need it for something effing stupid because all this stuff worked. But now let's see what the car looks like, because it's pretty sweet. Alright, bam, this engine, it's looking pretty snazzy now. I'm super happy with the results. These were all like clean and easy mods to do, and like, look at, this engine is looking pretty cool. It does pop out a lot more now. Now we'll kind of go over my theory of how this is performance-based-ish. Okay, now kind of the performance-based of this kind of whole thing, or at least my theory behind it, which sounds pretty good. Right over here, normally you have a huge wall that blocks all this stuff on each side. Okay, you think, well, who really cares? But when this fan is turned on, or when you're driving through, air is going whoosh, 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 whoosh. And now air will actually be hitting against these runners that are basically for the supercharger, so air will be passing over these runners, and that will help drop air intake temps, in theory, and it really should. So, you have a little bit performance increase because the lower air intake temps, even if it's 1 to 2 degrees, that still is going to make a little bit of a difference for something that was so cheap. And not only the performance, getting rid of those really cleans up the whole thing. Like the painted surge tanks, make it pop, pop, pop. The whole secondary air pump rigmarole, all deleted, all good. And you don't have all those, like apparently I had the lines that go under the supercharger broken. And now you don't have to worry about those little vacuum leaks. And then you clean up this whole side by a lot because you don't have that bracket over there. You don't have anything over there. And you're dropping a little bit of LBs. Like I said, you drop 5 pounds overall on this whole system. So I'm super happy with these little mods, from the side markers to the secondary air pump delete setup, and from just painting those surge tanks while powder coating them. This car is popping so much better in the engine bay. It's a nicer environment, nicer thing to look on. And it's eliminating any of that effing rigmarole of just another air leak or something stupid like that. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you think the color I picked really does make it kind of pop and look pretty cool in the engine bay. I'm going to think of 1 or 2 other things, maybe the powder coat that color. I'm debating on painting my supercharger while powder coating it, but I'm not sure what color I would go with, or I'm just going to make it like silver, make it pop a little bit more, because I like that supercharger standing out. So I don't really want it to blend in, so maybe I'll do silver. Also, I'm not so sure if I could powder coat the supercharger. If someone in the comments, or someone down below will make comments, because I think I have to strip it all down, because if I throw it in the oven, I think I'll ruin a few of the front main gaskets, and those just suck to replace. So I might just paint it, I might powder coat it, I don't know. Throw it in the comments down below. Also, does anyone know where I could get a custom little placard like that? I just kind of want to have a few of them that, like, say ND72 or anything like that, in case, God forbid, knock on wood, I gotta rebuild one of my motors. At least then I can put it on there and say, I did it. Because I just think that'd be cool and fun. But hopefully you guys like the video. Hopefully you like the channel. Throw a comment down. Throw whatever else you want down there. Any questions or anything like that. Put a like down there. Subscribe. Share the video. And I'm going to start having merch soon. So hopefully people will want to support the channel by buying some of my merch. Because the more merch I sell, the more products I sell, the more you guys like my video and watch it, the more money I could have to do cool stuff on this. Maybe do something crazy, like throw a Whipple or something crazy like that, and then I'll try to show all the data and all that stuff. So, catch you guys later. Hope you guys like it.